Might have to wind this up for the next shot. Oh yeah, come on. Come on. The car's up in the air. I've done the starter motor, the converter bolts, the trans mount, the speedo drive. Now I want to try and get power to the starter to try and bump this over. The reason being is that the wiring looks like this. And, you know, I'm not quite sure where it all goes to and what it goes to. There should be more than that. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Totally just missed it. So that's all the wiring. I know this is the battery. I'm guessing this one, because it goes to here. Actually, I don't know what that one's for. I'm guessing this one goes to the fuse box, because it goes to the fuse box. Apart from that, I really don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the other car and try and decipher what they've done here, but then I can wire it up and try and bump it over by the key and see if it all works before I go ahead with anything else. Doing a bypass for the neutral safety and came across this. What a joy this is going to be. Fantastic. Scared the shit out of me. Alright, as you can see, I'm getting somewhere, but obviously I got nothing when it comes to firing. This relay is clicking though. I got 12 volts too, which is very groovy. Wondering if it's coming down to that, or I haven't got a trigger wire on the starter. That's the one. Only lights up when on crank. I've spent the last hour, 2 hours going through wiring, and I'd gotten to the stages where I was looking over the car, and if, you know, if I parted it out, I could use this on this and that on that and this on this, and it was just that wire, which is fantastic. There's my dot trigger wire going all the way in there. Probably don't need you now. And let's see what it does. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I'm glad that's over. Some idiot didn't have a ground going from the engine to the body, so there it is, and I'm done for the night. And we're back. Engine's all now together. I kind of skipped through some of that boring stuff that no one really wanted to see, but we are all ready to go. I've just got to prep up the oil pump and run a line for the oil pressure gauge, and then it's ready to rock and roll. So let's move on to the trans. All right, before I go crawling under the car, I'm going to do the shifter and run the cable so that I can do it all underneath at once. So what I've got here is this El Cheapo drop box from eBay. This thing is heavy. It's made out of real steel, and if I move the wiring out the way, it fits. On top of that, I'm going to stick B&M Quicksilver. I got this for $100. The chrome has all gone on it. There's no case, no knob, so hence $100. I did get a cable with it, so I'm happy about that. Voila. I don't know if it looks better, but I saved myself like $100 on a shift knob, so I'm happy. Gentle, gentle, gentle. And it's in. I chucked the high-rise console in there because apparently this is a high-rise console car and the other one didn't fit. Now the only problem is the underneath. I did have an issue with this end of it. Now, because this goes onto both sides, it has obviously it's more that way and then a neutral one there, but if I flip this and put it on the other side, it would give me more adjustment this side. So I've put up a plate here just to give me a little bit more adjustment, or I could have bought another one of these for like $40. So scrap bit of steel saves the day. Is it dodgy? I don't know. It's gonna do the job. It shifts well, it stays in there. I'm happy. Exhaust is mostly done. We've got a twin system with an H pipe. Should be fairly rowdy. Step mufflers, H pipe. I got this from the local wreckers. They were generous enough to just give it to me. So this exhaust owes me, 1, 2, 3, 4 hose clamps and a tie down. And she's ready for roadworthy. So very happy with that and ashamed at the same time. You don't always get both ways, but fortunately I have. All right, let's see if we can get some oil pressure. Coil's off. We're gonna run the car for a little bit. I doubt it's gonna get oil pressure, but let's give it a try. So as you can see here, this is bone dry around here, so that wasn't getting nothing. Pretty self-explanatory. We're going to clean it off, split this bolt, that bolt, split the pump in half, pack the gears. Boop. Boop. Alright, there's the insides. Can only go in one way. Got one like that. One like that. Now we go back together. Now one more thing, before you put it in the car, you don't want to turn these at all, otherwise you've just wasted your time. You will have to line up the keyway here into the engine, but try and keep that to a minimal, because as I said, you'll be wasting your time and doing it again. Now we do it all over again. Coil's hooked up, air cleaner's off. Let's shoot some fuel down it and see if it will light off. I think I did something wrong. Very wrong. It's insane how much grief this thing's giving me. I can't believe what the coil did. The amount of motors I've started on the ground with hot wired coils, including this motor, and they just start up, but I give it keyed 12 volt and it blows things up, and there's no spark at the spark plugs or discharge at the coil. I just kind of at a loss. I wonder if it was the coil, if it was bad. I might try another coil in it in the morning because the day's done. Look at this, what a masterpiece. This was briefly on fire. I've also lost crank now that I've pulled that out. Great. You know, it's pretty sad when my dodgy wiring is better than the wiring in the car. Keys in the on position. May have flooded it. Where's this end? This is quite dangerous bizzo. I've also got no throttle. It needs some milk. Come on. There we go. And that's it. All right, one more time. Key on, power. Your battery's dead. Alright, wiring somewhat done. Off the key, off the tank. And no fires. Beautiful. Oh yes, beautiful. Do all four corners again and then I'll call it a day. So there was a couple of days there where I didn't bother filming, but I got the tail shaft fitted, I had new wheels and tyres fitted, just stockies for now, but I plan on putting hubcaps on, and I also thoroughly cleaned out the inside, which now looks amazing even though I haven't filmed it. You'll just have to believe me. And now I'm prepping the car up so that I can anchor wax it and then polish it. Taking off a few necessary bits that I need to, and then straight into it. And here we are in the shed. I have pulled off a few little bits like the wiper arms, the headlights. Just waiting for the body temp of this to cool down because it's been out in the sun. Spray some stuff on there and wipe it off, and then we'll anchor wax it. What I mean by spray stuff on and wipe it off, I mean Pure Wax's Final Touch. Another great product and one I like to use before I anchor wax a car. But here I am anchor waxing the car. This stuff is super easy to use. All right, 24 hours has passed. Now, as you can see, the anchor wax has left a very matte finish. That is just the residue that will wipe off. As you can see right here, there's a patch here. And you can see the outline of it. That's what it will turn out like this section here before buffing. I can buff this, even though there's no clear on here. I can buff it and it will, bring back the shine. So let's get this wiped down and ready. Now, even though I've done it a couple of times before in videos, I still like to go over it because this is a great product and it can get you out of having to paint a car if you don't want to paint a car, like me. It does say in the instructions to put it on with a brush and then go over it 45 minutes later with a microfiber cloth to get rid of the brush strokes, but I like to use a paint roller and still go over it with a microfiber cloth 45 minutes later. I just find that the paint roller makes it a lot quicker, and then I leave it for 24 hours to 36 hours depending on the weather, and then I get off the residue, probably the worst job you'll ever come across. And once the residue is off, you can buff the wax on the car and the results are great. It won't make good paint better, but it will make terrible paint look great. Just look at that roof for instance. That was terrible before I even attempted it, and most people would say you'd have to paint it, and look at that, it got me out of painting it. So since waxing and buffing the car, I haven't actually been able to move forward because the car wouldn't start. And in actual fact, the car wasn't starting when I buffed it. That's because my brand new fuel pump, Goss one, was pumping 11 psi fuel pressure to the carby, and it was just flooding out and it wouldn't run. So I'm either going to be rebuilding standard fuel pumps from now on or running fuel regulators, because it's now running 7 psi and it seems happy, and now I can rig that up in a more professional way and keep moving on. I'd like to leave this like that, but it's kind of frowned upon. So there it is, all plumbed in. There's the out, there's the in. Probably could have filmed that, but I really couldn't be bothered. Fuel pressure is set just over 6 psi. I'll probably need to refine that once I do some, some pulls in it, get some wide open throttle, but for now that's fine. It starts up nice, it runs nice, it idles nice. I can move it in and out the shed. I don't really care about anything else at this point. That should be leaking by now. Shouldn't have been able to do that. That's fine, that's factory. Might need to strain it before I put it back in. Now I've got my shaft out, and the reason why I've got my shaft out is because of this. That's not real groovy. Let's make sure these never come out again. We're using red thread locker because that's the one I've got. Done. That was the last one. Very groovy. With the majority of things done, the car runs, drives, looks a little bit nicer, and stops. All the main things. But now I have to deal with the 1%ers and get this thing looking a little bit nicer and a little bit user-friendly. I don't have a cooling system figured out. The exhaust is holding on by hopes and prayers. Now, if you're a wiring genius like me, you would know that you can power things like this with a drill battery. See if they work. Also, these safety glasses aren't tinted yellow, they have overspray on them from painting the van. Very difficult to see out of. And my Quicksilver shifter didn't work with the console, so I swapped it out for a Pro Ratchet that I had that needed a little bit of work, but I managed to make it look standard, but also modified at the same time, which I'm very happy with. Now I'm left with painting the console insert to make it look a little nicer. Alright, I don't know how long it's been since I filmed this thing, but it's registered, so let's hop in and go for its first drive. Oh boy. Actually a little bit worried about this one. Check over, it looked pretty good. That's left over from the other day, from when I cleaned it. So unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to end this video. On that last drive, I did start to hear a noise, so I quickly brought the car back, put it up on axle stands, and the tail shaft yoke had chewed out the rear seal in the transmission. Fortunately, it hadn't ruined anything else, so I'm lucky with that. When I was building this car, I was led under the assumption that 6-cylinder tail shafts are the same as V8s when you're using a 253, a Trimatic, and a small Salisbury. It did come out factory in VB to VH. In that scenario, they didn't have a 10 bolt, so yeah, they don't. And I thought I may have a sedan tail shaft in it. Went and bought another tail shaft. That was a 3-hour trip to get a tail shaft, and yeah, no, it's exactly the same. So I'm either on the lookout for a tail shaft for a VB to VH 253 Trimatic to small Salisbury, or I get a tail shaft made. So I really don't know what the future is for this car, if I'm just going to sell it as is and it can be up to the new owner to, you know, whatever they want to do, or, you know, if I miraculously find one or just get one built. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. So that's the end of this video. It runs, it drives, it brakes, it looks sick. I'm really happy with how it turned out apart from that. So thank you for watching, and until next time.